Hello, amazing creator beings. If you have stumbled upon this reading, the universe is calling you. Will you answer? Your spiritual gifts are being activated, and we are going to find out why, how, what. Make yourself comfortable, sit back, and let's start off with the Crystal Visions Tarot. Now, today I'm going to do a past, present, and future pull, but I want us to keep in mind that when it comes to energy, it's truly timeless. It can never be created or destroyed. It is not bound to the limitations of time, okay? And so we got to keep that in mind. So we are moving through a relationship to our spiritual gifts, talents, and abilities that is bound by time, yes, here on Earth in 3D reality, but also it's free and timeless and everlasting, ever evolving. Let's have a look here. We're really going to be looking into your intuition, your spiritual gifts, where they've been, where they're at now, where they're going, and also get some really helpful advice for continuing to evolve. Now, I will start off by saying most human beings have the potential to be intuitive, but some people are just born with a stronger intuitive nature than others. So it is something, if you already have it inherently in your blueprint, that you can expand on it. And the more clear channel that you can be, the better you will receive all of your gifts, whether they're spiritual or practical or logical. So keep that in mind. Now, what you're showing me in particular with your past energies is the Page of Swords. This is understanding that there was a time in this lifetime or previous lifetimes where you were a beginner. You were learning, and the energies with which you were involved were very mental. This is Swords energy. This is air. I'm really picking up a lot of learning, receiving learnings, receiving teachings, maybe even experimenting with teaching yourself as well. So some of you have spent time deep in study when it comes to spirituality, spiritual evolution, your own personal gifts, talents, and abilities, your divine gifts, and listening to your intuition. This is something that has been practiced. This is something that has been studied. All right? That's what's coming up with that Page of Swords. In your present energies, it's moved into the heart space. We've got the cups here. There's a more emotional relationship with your spirituality now than ever before. There is a nurturing of the heart energy and how you perceive life through the heart instead of through the mind. I feel like you came to a point where you had a lot of the mental knowledge, but this is the time right now in the present where you're putting it more into practice. And you've learned how to sink into your heart space and be more present, fully embodied and present with yourself so that you can listen to what the universe's messages are. I'm really loving this. It shows an eagerness to act from the heart space and keep the heart at the forefront of your intentions. And then look at what is being expanded to in the future position here. The King of Cups. This is going to work out for you. This is absolutely going to work out for you. So I'm guessing that many of you who are listening, you have the knowledge, you've done the studying, but you've also put it into practice because we see a beautiful graduation from the Page of Cups to the Knight of Cups to the Queen of Cups, and in the future, the King of Cups. So this is your path. The Page is learning. They're figuring out how to operate from balanced emotional energies from the heart. The Knight of Cups would then be the more active energies, and you really get going with it. You begin to apply what you've learned to your life very actively and from that emotionally balanced place. And then the Queen begins to embody the feminine energies of the heart, and the King embodies the masculine energies of the heart. And then we come to the Master trajectory of the emotional energy. So it's very interesting. We're doing a spiritual evolution here, but what you're showing me is that there has been this coinciding emotional evolution as well. And here we have some advice, the Nine of Swords. You have learned how important it is to manage your mental energies, to take a break from the mind. Many of you may be meditating or interested in starting a more solid meditative practice. I think you know what it feels like to work with spiritual energies, to work with the unseen, and that sometimes it makes you tired or sometimes it makes you stressed because it's a different way of interpreting the world. There's people who don't understand what you're going through and they may be saying things to you. You may have a lot of these ravens squawking at you and you're really trying to ground back in and listen to your voice, listen to your heart more than anyone else, because that has been your path, to listen to your heart. So the advice here that I'm getting for those of you who have chosen this reading to listen to, it is timeless. You have found it at the right time. You're being reminded not to listen to the extra voices, the naysayers. You are being encouraged to continue to follow your heart and embody your emotions in a healthy way. Now, some of you may be also really working on not being reactive to people around you because you have a different way of approaching spirituality. Some of you may be dealing with the traditional opinions about religion versus spirituality. You may have people judging you for the way you approach spirituality. And again, the universe is saying, this is you with you. We have your back. The universe is on your side. Your holy people are on your side. Your guides are on your side in this heart energy, and you are ready for this. It doesn't matter if other people understand it or not. We're going to use the Everyday Tarot, this cute little purple deck, to do clarifiers. So let's get a clarifier for the Page of Swords, the World card. Yep, you're kind of putting to end an over-reliance on the mind. Let's look at the Page of Cups, please. Eight of Swords. That might be a little work to do, hiding in the shadows there, maybe something you're working on. And that's okay. When we see cards that are a little tougher, they are coming to our awareness for a reason. And you being in that heart energy, you're uniquely prepped to deal with that. And the 8 comes before the 9. So I'm not surprised here that your present situation is running you into what the universe is advising there. All right, what about the King of Cups? The Hanged Man, I love that. That's a beautiful spiritual sacrifice unto oneself, not sacrificial from the religious standpoint. So let's wipe that out of our minds and out of our psyches. This is the true person who says, I will do the real work. I will do the inner work. I will stay in the heart core essence. And if my mind is too overwhelmed, I will shift my perspective until I come back into the heart space. Let's look at that Nine of Swords, the Knight of Wands. Now there's some energy we can move with. And I just knocked the camera and it went bounce, 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 because that Knight of Wands got me excited there. All right, so for the Page of Swords here, the mental energies, you're passing through a portal. Now, I'm guessing in the past, you are maybe looking at the time where you didn't know what you didn't know, okay? You just didn't know. A lot of us grew up in childhood. We went to school, we went to church, we were in these certain structures, and we thought that's the way we had to be. We were only thinking what we were taught to think. We weren't really embodied. We weren't maybe feeling our way through things in a healthy manner, in a more freeing manner. And that's not to say that our parents were bad. Maybe some did not have the best home life, but some did. And even so, we're in a spiritual cage. And that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing you break free of that. So you've somehow somehow broken free. Something came into your purview, something came into your life that helped you move out of the restrictions of the lockdown mind. Okay, so that is something that you're showing me in the past that has happened. You've moved through the portal. I'm sure moving through that portal helped you open up to your heart, but then you got to deal with this Eight of Swords. So let's look at this. What is this about? It's a bit of sadness. It's a bit of being tied up, maybe, and not knowing which direction to go. It's letting go. It's kind of jumping off the cliff, but not knowing where you're going to land, and maybe feeling a bit scared or like worried and concerned that, am I going to sabotage this? Am I sabotaging relationships from the past that are still in this energy? They're in the energy of a heavy focus on the mind without the balance of the heart. Is it fair for me to do this? Some of you may be feeling a bit of survivor guilt here about this, and that keeps you a bit trapped. And it might kind of get to you sometimes emotionally here with this page. She's very curious. She's very much looking forward to being in the heart space, but at times she may tend to sense energy around her and recognize that other people are not in that place, and that puts her in an energy that is a lower vibrational energy. It's of the mind, and it's of some of the mental energies that would have you grieving and guilting. Now, this is kind of natural. We want to hold space for cycles of guilt and grief because those things offer us the opportunity to break free, to move through the mental cycles. It's very interesting here how the shift goes from the mind to the heart, but the mind is still involved, but it's a different aspect. The aspects have flipped. The mind is being overshadowed by the heart core essence. And honestly, it's beautiful. It's still challenging, but it's beautiful because if people in this world en masse, the majority of people were operating from the heart, this world would look very different. So I just want to assure you that you are on the right path. If you're feeling this, drop me a comment below. I want to hear about your experience. How have other people treated you when you have come into your own spirituality, when you're operating more from the heart, when you're opening your heart? How has it felt to you? Let me know in the comments. I would like to hear more about your story because you're not alone. And the more we share the stories that we have individually, the more we can provide support to one another. These energies coming up in the future position, however, creators, I gotta tell you, this is beautiful. The King of Cups and the Hanged Man together. Oh, there's just so much wisdom and compassion pouring out of these cards. First of all, there's wisdom and compassion for the self because this is a self-sacrifice in the way that you are going deeper, coming to a knowing. You are clearing. Hanging upside down from the tree of life, from Yggdrasil, is a very potent way to clear out some of those mental energies and keep them in check. This is you spending maybe a little bit more time reflecting and more time in meditation, measuring your responses with others to ensure that they come from the heart and not from the mental space. I couldn't be more pleased with the energy you're heading into from a perspective of spiritual maturity. You are growing, and this is amazing. Of course, we have some integration. We have some pieces of the puzzle that need to come in between these two cards with the Knight and the Queen. Remember, we don't get to embodying the masculine energies without taking action and also embodying the feminine energies. Understanding from a spiritual perspective that you are moving that direction, but what we're looking to looks absolutely amazing. It's a very masterful energy. And so I hope that greets you with some assurance about where you're headed, because I know it's hard sometimes when other people don't understand. And I think the advice here is that there's always going to be people who try to put you down, who try to make you feel bad for being you, who try to dismiss what your experience in the world is and how you experience the world spiritually. But with this Knight of Wands coming in, this is very active, transformational energy. And this tells me that you're at a level of spiritual maturity where the universe feels like it's quite safe to challenge you in that way because they know you can handle it. They know you can transform the energies. They know you can rise above. This is an energy of rising above. I love the Knight of Wands because the Knight of Wands, that's a fire energy, okay? And I feel like the Knight of Wands is the most accurate in all of the Knight's movements as far as when is the right time, how I express my passion. The Knight of Cups is beautiful because the heart is embodied there, but this is the energy of I'm going to do no harm because I've got all this heart energy. I have compassion for humanity, but I'm not going to take any BS either. I'm not going to take any extra noise. I'm going to transform that and I'm going to use it to my advantage, and that's going to accurately move me forward in my life. That's in alignment with the universal and cosmic energies, not in alignment with someone else's agenda or how they think I should be moving in the world. Because a lot of people are under brainwashing and heavy conditioning. If you're going to listen to all of that, you've got to know what you're listening to and how it's going to affect your psyche. And so the universe is coming in with this advice of you've got to learn how to tune in back into your own energies. I love that the character's wearing red in that card because red pulls us down into the rooted energies, our connection with Earth. It's a very potent, it goes back into our DNA, into our blood. It's really pulling on those lovely energies there of depth and potency and fire, transformation. So no matter what you're hearing around you, no matter what might challenge or test you, remember it's natural to move through these energies, and because of you being able to be in the heart space and that being your focus, it's actually giving you an advantage overall, which is really lovely to see. You're not going back. You've already completed an old cycle. This is a new soul level cycle for you. It could take months, it could take years, it could take decades, but it's a very important part of your process. And if you get sidetracked too much by listening to other stuff, these think tanks and these parasitical belief and systems, then that's what gets tricky for you. But I'm reassured that the universe brings in that Knight of Wands. Let's go to the Starseed Oracle and pull a card here for our creators who are working on up-leveling their spiritual gifts and intuition. You know, this reading is going to be for a very unique group of you. It's not for everyone. Some people are very disconnected from intuition, and we've seen how that presents in our world. And so it's so important for those of us who do have a deep, loving connection with our intuition and humanity to step even more so into our energies. Ooh, we got jump in. I was just saying step in, and the universe is like, no, dive in. And there's a big splash in the middle of this cosmic eye, and you see the little feet. That's us. That's us jumping in more potently to who we are, where we've come from, our greater being, not just how we show up in 3D reality, but that greater part of us, the mystery. This is Andromedan energy. It's about adventure and saying yes to change. It's definitely given me a Knight of Wands energy. The thing is about the Knight of Wands, though, that I love, and I love these energies coming up together, is the Knight of Wands is measured, passionate but measured. The Knight of Swords is very quick to react to things. The Knight of Pentacles is very slow. The Knight of Cups is a good balance, and I think we've got that implied in your reading here. And that with the Knight of Wands, when you have the heart and the will force working together, that's what causes this beautiful action here. And so you're being asked to go deeper into your spiritual reality, into your gifts. Some of you are powerful mediums. You can sense and communicate from the other side. Some of you are very big feelers, like you can feel and sense energies around you. And I'm also seeing that it's like you're receiving these energies through your heart, and then your heart actually instructs your brain how to file these energies. Very interesting. It's showing me, and and speaking to me from that place of being heart-led. Let's get a card from the Beyond Lemuria Oracle as well. I love this deck. You can see we're kind of getting into starseed and universal energies, Lemuria, and ancient culture that gives us assurance that we have evolved before and we will evolve even more. The Lemurian deck gives us number 23, endless opportunities. 23, 2 plus 3 is 5. You can work with these numbers singularly or together. I love that because 5 is the number of change, and you are bringing change to your own reality through your spiritual transformation. We've got butterflies in all of the bubbles, and endless opportunities await you. What if you moved deeper into your spiritual nature? What if you got more and more connected with your heart core center? What if you began to operate from that, regardless of what anybody else is doing or the other noise that you hear mentally? What if you can truly get embodied and operate from that heart space? Also, I'll just remind everybody, the heart is the greatest protection. The open heart, the closed heart, the hurt heart that needs healing cannot operate to manifest these opportunities. You must have an open and healed heart in order to do that. And it is also your greatest protection. It takes you out of certain energies, the energies maybe of the past, of those mental tie-ups, those enticing energies in the world around us that would have us distracted, and it pulls us back into the wonder of life, to the mystery and the beauty of why we came here and why we're here now, embodied in the physical to do the hard work. It's going to be challenging, yes, but it's also very beautiful. To close off the reading, let's get a rune from this cute little rune stave set here. So I'm just going to kind of mix, and I'm getting this one right here. These runes are kind of long and skinny, so I have to kind of turn them, but you see how this kind of looks like an S, like with pointy instead of rounded edges there? This is Suvilu, and Suvilu represents the sun, and this is about success. So in this reading, your spiritual guidance system is coming online, your intuition is deepening, you're going to have success here, you're going to achieve goals. This is about having joy, happiness, pleasure. It's an honoring energy. It's honoring your soul spark, your essence. It's connected to the energy of the sun, which, by the way, you have a relationship to being incarnate here. You have a special relationship to our central star, the sun. This is about good health and victory, positive change. When you're in these heart energies and you're operating your life from there, that's what brings you into a place of wholeness. And Suvilu, Sowilo, is here to remind us this is where we're supposed to be. You know, as all the other energies of distraction and chaos and mental illness and the traps of the mind challenge us, we remember to come back to the heart space. Tapping on the sternum gently and doing breath work that brings you down into your heart, breathing oxygen into your heart space could really be helpful for those of you listening. It can something that can be done right now as I'm finishing up the reading. Just some gentle tapping on the sternum and breathing oxygen down into your heart. And anytime you feel a little distracted by the other things or by the noise, you can sink back into that. Now stick around because I want to tell you quickly, this is a very special timeless series about up-leveling your life. So in addition to this reading here, I have 3 before this, and then I'll have 3 that come after this. So this is the reading that's right in the middle. This is number 4 here, and there's going to be 7 in the series. So make sure you're tuned in, subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any readings. Also, I'm live a lot on my channel, and I would love to see you at one of the live communities because we do so very much together. And if you want to be with other heart-centered beings and souls, that's a place to show up in the creators community. Check out the description below as well. You'll find everything you need. If you'd like a personal reading, that's there, and much more. So be sure to check that out. Like and let me hear how this reading resonates with you and how you shine your own beautiful soul spark in the world. I wish you so much joy and many blessings on your journey. See you next time.